Okay.
I had fun. And we recorded it.
Yeah. It's okay. I pressed the red button, so it's recording. So whenever we want to start, we can start.
Okay, I'm ready to start.
Are you ready to start?
Are you?
I am.
Okay, then let's do it.
All right.
So, hi guys.
Hey guys, and welcome to
The Croft Corner.
the Croft Corner. I'm Harley. Thank you for joining us today, and this is my little sidekick. What's your name?
Avery.
Avery. And what are we doing today, Avery?
We're canning tomatoes.
We're canning tomatoes, and she wanted to help. So, this is our first really big, like water bath canning experience. I had some tomatoes out of the garden, and then we went down to the our local Amish farmers market, and I got a box of tomatoes for a really good price. And so I brought them home, and I have cored them and then quartered them.
Yeah.
Almost all of them except these last few. Some of them I pulled out of the garden, and I was going to add them
And
to
we're going to cut them.
Yeah. And I'm using this
Recipe
ball.
book.
Yes, it's a ball canning book for home preserving, and it is really awesome, and I will link it in the description below because it's got a lot of just simple recipes in it that for when you're first starting out canning, I've really enjoyed having it. So, and I'm just making basic tomato sauce. That way I can pull it out of my pantry and turn it into whatever we want. And so I thought that would be the most reasonable or easiest and convenient thing to do because it's just tomatoes and salt and herbs. Yes.
You want to cut now?
Yep. So we're going to start off. I'm going to finish cutting and coring these tomatoes and add them to the rest of our bags that I've got in the refrigerator. And then we will start cooking them and processing them together. All right. So all I did here was I had cut them in half, and then I cored them that way, and then cut them into like fourths or equal quarters, I guess. That way they would all matched and be around the same size because some of the tomatoes were quite bigger than some other ones, and just cut off any of the bad spots, and then just added the rest of that was in that bowl to the bags along with the other 3 bags I had in there. So I ended up with 4 gallons of tomatoes. And so at the beginning of this, it just wants you to put enough to cover the bottom is what I ended up doing, and start heating it up, and then just adding, I had a ladle, I just added a spoon or 2 each time, let it come back up to a boil, and stay at like that simmer boil, about medium-high heat, and then would just add a spoon or 2 at a time. And then I went through those first 2 bags and got those cooked down. So once you get all of your tomatoes added into the pot that you want that to boil on high for a good 10 minutes. And then I took it off of the heat and I just worked it in batches. I would ladle it into my blender. I would let that blend, and then pour it in to my strainer that I had over the bowl, and that way I was able to get all of the seeds and the skins out of the sauce. So then once I had a clean sauce, I would just take my silver bowl and pour it into my big pot. That way I could keep that sauce nice and warm. So we're back. It is the next day. Let's just say that tomato canning and all this stuff is it's gonna be a few day process. My plan is to finish it up today. So yesterday we left off, we had strained all of the seeds and skins out of the sauce, and so it wants you to cook it down 1/3 after that, but we kind of got interrupted. We had to run to town. Then when we got back to finish up, by the time I finished straining everything, it was time to get ready to go to church. So I'm home. I'm not leaving until it's done today. So what I did is I just put that sauce in these containers and put them in the fridge. So I still have 2 more bags of tomatoes to cook down and turn into tomato sauce like this, and then I'll just cook it down by batches and then be ready to can it. Also, you can't go out to the garden without, or you can't go feed the chickens without going to the garden, you know. And I got my first 2 silver slicer tomato, there's a lot of tomatoes in this house, but cucumbers. Regular cucumbers, and then some that I got that were already started from seed from the Amish, and then some more tomatoes, and my first like handful of green beans as well. So we had a lovely little treat when we came out there yesterday. So I'm gonna put it on another time lapse, start cooking this down to be ready to be canned, and then also cook these tomatoes down to turn into sauce. So let's get this finished up today. So when you start once your sauce is done and you start canning to get it into the jars, all I added was the citric acid. You could do that, or you could do lemon juice, whichever one you have. And then salt. I didn't add any herbs. That way I can be able to turn it into whatever I want and season it however. So all I added was those 2 things, and then I put those in the jars and then put the sauce in, and was able to get that incorporated into the sauce. And also for the like citric acid or the lemon juice that you use, you want to make sure you have a recipe, because there are specific amounts on that per size of the jar and how much sauce that you have. All right, guys, check out those beautiful jars of tomato sauce. I am so excited about these because I just think they look so pretty, especially when you get the red, the darks, the yellows, all those tomatoes, and you cook them, and then I just think it turns out so beautiful. So everything is turned off. I have got everything ready to do a load of dishes because that never ends. But these tomatoes, that tomato sauce, it's beautiful. And we still have another jar. This has already been cooked down, so I am going to put it in the fridge this evening and probably can it tomorrow, or today's Thursday, so probably Friday or Saturday, because there was a few other things, or one who needed our attention and had to get some things done with her. So this is going to go in the fridge, and all I'll need to do is heat up my jars in my canner, and while my jars are heating up, then I can just heat that up on the stove. It's already cooked down, and it won't take me but a minute. Take those out and process those tomatoes in the jars for about 35 minutes. So that'll be a much quicker process now that everything is cooked down and strained and all that stuff is done. So all I'll have to do that is heat it up, put it in the jars, and let it boil. All right, so thank you guys for hanging out with us today and yesterday as we did this new project of canning these tomatoes. It was a lot of work, but I have greatly enjoyed it, just to see the end product and to know how beautiful they look and how, like, it tasted good I hadn't even seasoned it or salted it, and Blake tried it and he even liked it. And so that says a lot that it tastes that good, because it's that fresh, it's that local, and they're going on my shelves and it makes me happy. So I'm just excited about what else I can get canned and things like this before this baby comes. Like, I'm making it my goal. I'm going to be canning everything and stocking up all kinds of stuff. So I want y'all to follow along, so make sure you like and subscribe, and come have fun with us and see what all we can get done before this one gets here. So we will see you guys next time. Thank you for hanging out with us today.